Judy Goodman, psychic. She said, no. She's way past that. Now, I'm going to give you a story that's got the good housekeeping seal of approval on it for you. So my very first time out of the box, this woman describes how she sent Judy a bouquet of flowers and thought. And called Judy the next day, and Judy described the flowers that she had sent. Now, all she did was put this in thought. It was not a prayer. I fully support prayer. Let's do the belt and suspenders thing. You can pray for things, and you have the ability to make things.
Hey,
and before I go any deeper into the story, I'll offer that we have 3 very big gifts, and they come right from the top. We have life. That goes from God. That's my feeling. I'm sure it's yours. We can make life. And what I have clearly learned is that we can make anything, and it is allowed. Now, people do really wonderful things out there in the world, and it is allowed. People do really horrible things out there in the world, and it is allowed. Because we don't have hordes of angels stopping us before we get in our car to go do some bad thing and say, no, it's not allowed. It's allowed. They say that, but this is the Wild Wild West down here. And here's a proof of concept. So I heard this story about the bouquet of flowers that my friend did, and I called Judy up. She had a birthday coming up within a day or two. And I said, I want to send you something in thought. And she told me all these other amazing things you do. But this particular thing really got my attention. I never heard anything like that. And she said, well, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I guess I'll think about it really, really hard and send it to you. And this is what she said. If you're going to send me a gift for my birthday, then you're going to think of it in your head, and it's going to come out from your heart because it's a gift. She said, I'll get it every time. Now, don't bother trying to send Judy things because she has a lot of layers of resistance to that unless she allows it. But in my case, I'm being trained up to write this book, apparently. Not that I knew it 15 years before it happened. So, all right, I'm going to send, the next morning I get up, it is her birthday, and I'm going to think of something to send Judy. I'm going to send her a simple rose, a yellow rose, in a simple silver vase. And I began to think about that. Judy said, just take a few seconds on it, let it go, because it's a gift, so it'll come out through the heart. I'd already forgotten about the heart thing, but I remembered just a few seconds. So I sent her that rose in a simple silver vase, and I let it go. And I went to work, and I was worthless at work. I was thinking about that vase, and that rose, and the vase, and the yellow rose, and da-da-da-da. And I came home from work, and I crammed on that thing some more, and I gave Judy a call 4 hours later or so. And this is the thing I said over and over and over. I probably did this approaching, 35, 50 times, some kind of big number like that. And I always said the same thing. Did you get the thing I said? She said, well, give me a second. I'm looking at the computer. Okay, in my room, she didn't have to go into a state to see this stuff. She is fully psychic. She sees the other side.
The rising.
She sees it, hears it, feels it. And when she's asleep, she is on the other side, out of body, as my friend Leah Bueller talked about. So this is a woman who's in touch with the other side 24/7. And there are biblical figures there. There are the deceased there. There is the angelic realm there, on and on and on. That's a lot of interesting information that she can access. So I'm just trying to see if she got the thing I said. She said, well, your thing is right up front. Now, there's a lot of people on the other side. They know it's my birthday, so they sent me a lot of gifts. There are people in this world, in the physical realm, they know it's my birthday. They have also sent me gifts, but yours is right up front. I said, well, you need to tell me what it is. She said, okay. Was it your intention to send me a rose? Well, that was a shock to my system because I've seen this psychic stuff in movies and on television. But when it happens to you, it'll get you. I was choking on that. I had a little lump in my throat. I said, yeah, that was my intention. She said, was it your intention to send me a yellow rose? I said, it was. And there was this little pause, and she said, that's not what I got. And I went, what? She said, look, somebody saw your intention. They knew you were going to do this, and they wanted to get in on it. said, what are you talking about? We discussed that thought is instantaneous, and I don't want to get into quantum fields or science. I don't really understand that. But in the realm of thought, it's not limited by distance or time. It happens instantaneously anywhere. And this had happened with Judy already, but someone had done something here, and I couldn't fully understand it. I said, what do you mean? What happened? She says, I'm looking at a rose. It has been dipped in gold. And I had to, and I'm going to, I had to guess that it was a yellow rose. So I had to play 1-900 psychic, which is, not her way of doing things. It was kind of a little kidding remark. She said, I had to guess that there was a yellow rose inside that rose I'm looking at. It's been dipped in gold. I said, I still don't understand what you're talking about. She said, look, somebody saw your thought. They wanted to get in on this. What was going to happen? And so they took your thought and embellished it and sent it on its way.
Who sent
I
it?
said, a thought is instantaneous, faster than the speed of light. Who could do that? She said, some big guy.
Nah.
I said, what do you mean big guy?
How we know God ain't a woman?
JC. She calls Jesus JC. And I went, you mean Jesus, JC big guy? She went, Well, yeah. I can't put my arms around that. I can't step into that. I just went into the place of that at all. And a lot of people will be jumping up and down going, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. They'd be very happy about that. And I have to admit, there's a part of me that was just sort of slinking down a little bit going, oh my God, Santa Claus is really watching what you do. It's like a 4-year-old with this thing. I just couldn't adapt to it. But that would happen every once in a while. I would sit out of the large array of things I said to Judy. Every once in a while, he would step in and embellish it. And he's a gift giver, and it was some simple thing. It would break your heart sweet. And that was my impetus to keep going. Not only did I have a 100% success rate, but every once in a while, Jesus would step in and condone and embellish this thought that I was just sending out into the thin air.
So this sounds extremely complicated, and not just complicated, it sounds like science fiction. And I've read the book. Now, others may not have read the book, Manifesting 1, 2, 3, and you don't need 3. I've read the book. So I know how this story goes, and I know the next step to that manifesting and to sending Judy gifts. But I have to say, even in the book, it sounds so far-fetched. One of the questions, okay, so 2 things. When you said don't send Judy anything because she has layers of protection, so she's just not receiving everything. So as soon as I read it in the book, I was like, all right, let me send Judy something real quick.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that I slipped through one of those cracks of layers of protection, because I definitely sent her a message, or at least I tried, thinking maybe she was going to give me a call and say, Tayla, I got your message. But how far-fetched could that, or would that be, if you were to give her a stream of numbers, or does it just work with pictures?
No, it works with objects and in concepts. But, Judy is the teacher. She's the example. What the book is about is, don't try sending stuff to your uncle. Do things for yourself. When I did this, when I was sending these objects to Judy, and man, is it simple. It is so simple. There's really nothing to it. I would send these objects to Judy over and over and over. I didn't write a book.
Good rising,
There weren't any instructions out there on how to do this. I was just like, some junior high school kid just playing post office with Judy. And it never missed. But I never got the idea of turning this on myself. My friend William Beelman, who went up there and started this, he showed me how these things were arrayed. He just put stuff on a wish list. He's just a guy putting things on a wish list. And he would look at it every day. And what was happening, imagine that you are building something on the other side. And every time you look at that wish list, it's like you take a break. days, you're actually starting to create mass, and that's what RealEstate. It would start from smoke, and it would form an object, and it could be a concept. It could be happiness. It could be less stress. So I didn't turn this on myself because we as a writer, he's a special guy, and Judy's very gifted. She's very gifted, and I'm not very gifted. So I never thought I could do this for me. I'm making things from month to month, over and over and over, just by thinking it. But I never imagined, well, I could use some tires on the car. I could use a little better job. I could use a nice place to live. But I never imagined that I could do it.
So really quickly, Ken, as far as day-to-day, current manifesting, current creating, current words, thoughts, feelings of today, how many of us are creating a reality that we don't want because we don't understand how easily and how quickly our thoughts and our words and our feelings towards those thoughts and words are manifesting things in our life that we don't want? And how do we stop manifesting the things that we don't want?
I love radio. This is where you hit that button over there, and you hear this big boom that goes off. That's quite the question. If you can make anything, and you can, the first part of that would be, what would you want to create? You're like a genie. And as you start to think something, it starts to take form. If you have a happy thought, a happy idea, and you touch it every day, it starts to create that happy idea. And my friends can watch it happen over there. If you have a worry, you have a concern, if you repeat that over and over and over, you will not only reinforce it, or you might even build a new one. So your thoughts will make anything. It's like gravity. A thought is a natural law. And if you hold out a coffee cup over the top of the table and let it go, gravity will pull it to the ground with a crash. And gravity does not judge what you're going to do with gravity. And your thoughts will happily create anything you think and repeat. Think and repeat. And it doesn't judge if you're going to do so-called good things and bad things with them. So the way to get through this is to recognize that your thoughts are always making things all the time. The life you presently have is very much a result of what you think. Now,
the life you have
there's things
is based on what you think.
Certain people, we have certain proclivities, we have certain talents. We may be in a war zone, not of our making, we're all going to die of something. So you can't create eternal life here on Earth, and your skin is now 650 years old. We're just not engineered for that. But you can make a lot of change in your life, and I would offer that a very substantial portion of your life is changeable. So if there's something in your life that you do not wish to have in your life any longer, here's the number one and the number two. I'll provide them fast. We certainly want people to have this. The way to create change is to recognize how it works. That's in the book. It's very simple. We went through that. And I came up with a concept called movie. Everybody's good at watching a movie. Nobody loves watching a movie. So you're going to create a movie. And your thoughts can create the future. This is amazing that they can do that. So in your movie, imagine you're in your future. And you can breathe the air in your future. You just close your eyes, you just imagine this. I'm very busy. Sometimes I do this when I'm driving my car. I don't close my eyes when I'm driving my car. I'm going down the road, and I'll say, I'm in my future, and I'm driving to my perfect house. Or I'm driving to my perfect career. Or I'll make some observations. I'm in my future, and I observe. The most important thing is that I have perfect health. And then remember that thing about the heart? In that scene in my movie on today, I observe I have perfect health. I'm in my future. I have perfect health, and I'm so grateful. And then I go to the next scene, whatever that is, and then I say, I'm so grateful. I'm using that heart. There are two great forces in the universe. One is love, and one is fear. And things just divide out that way, and it's easy for us to see that. I want us all to get on the love team. And let's use this to create change. And let's use this to for what it is. It is a great power when you're manifesting. So you think it and you put love behind it, and that will accelerate and make that thought more efficient. Now, to the other part of your question, that's the number 2, manifesting 1, 2, 3.
And you don't need 3.
If you have a concern, a worry, I'm hesitant to use the word worry. If you have a worry, you repeat it, can't pay the bills, hate that job, not in this good relationship, can't stand this, and what am I going to do? I'm stuck. You back it up with fear. You love with fear. So if you have a thought and you load it with the other big force in the universe, fear, is going to create it quicker and more efficiently. So now that you know that, how in the heck can you stop that? Well, to reduce fear, and a lot of people have ideas on this, I'm going to give you something that was given to me. It just came in. I was in a tough spot. I got the perfect house. Yada, yada, yada. Everything was going well. I manifested this enormous miracle, and then I had to pay for it. And I was in a jam because the money wasn't there that much. And I was worried sick about this. And I know that worry is going to create a scenario that I don't want. So I was sitting there thinking. I finally could come up with a concept, and I did it to stop this worry that I had about money. And as soon as I let it go, this idea just came to my head. I didn't hear it. It wasn't something magical. It was just there. And what I got was to take action on your worries. Well, what the heck does that mean? Take action on your worries. And I said, then I got more info. It's really simple. Here it is. What's a concern that you have?
I would have to say the concern that I have is like an actual concern or something that I'm focused on that relates to this.
Okay. A concern about this book?
Okay. I'm concerned about a current book that I'm writing.
Oh, okay. You're concerned about a current book. All right. And your concern is what? You don't have the time, it's not going well, you need more information.
Okay, so transparency. My concern about a book that I'm writing is that I am going to need an editor to completely rewrite the book because my grammar, my punctuation, run-on sentences, starting sentence, like how you prefaced your book, like I may start a sentence with I or and or, like I want it to be as professional. I want it to be on the New York Times, but at the same time, I want it to be authentically Tayla. So my concern is, how do I write this book to appease all of the punctuation kings and queens, yet, being true to myself?
Yeah, I know. Okay. I went through the same process. All right. So that's your concern. And you're worried about, we're originally talking about, you're worried about failing on this. You're worried about putting out a second-class product.
Yes.
You have first-class ideas, but you need to present it in a first-class way. And
yes.
You're worried about...
Yes. You got me, Ken. You got me all the way. Exactly.
Yeah. You don't want to put out a second-class product because it will be discounted. So you're worried about the book being discounted. You're worried about your own failure or lack of being the punctuation district and all that sort of thing. Okay. So we're going to take action on that. Now, if this were money, can't pay the bills, it's the same scenario. So it's the middle of the night, middle of the afternoon, you're concerned about this, and I don't know what to do. I don't know editors. I don't know up or down about this. I haven't written a book like this before, or a book ever. And so you're worried about it, and you're creating this scenario of second-class book. Every time you think, I'm so worried about making a second-class book with my first-class ideas, you're creating that scenario. Your thoughts can make concepts like lack, unhappiness, as well as things, physical objects like refrigerators and dishwashers. So instead of creating this bad scenario, then you're going to take action on that. So you get out a piece of paper, even in the middle of the night, and you try to make a list. Instead of worrying about it, sit up, get the pencil out, get the smart start going out.
Rena,
And the first thing
I
on the list
love
is
you.
I'm going to call people I know that have written a book. Number one. Number two, I'm going to go online and start doing a search for editors. Number three, I'm going to go online and I'm going to start looking for people who have written about the how-to, the pitfall, the advantages of writing that first book. And you start to run that list. And you can't do it all in a day, but you get on it. Now, if you find yourself worrying about it again, get that list out and think, is there anything else? Yes, there's one more thing I can add. Now, I'm still worried about this. I'm still worried about this. I have 7 items now. I'm still worried about this. You know what? Give it up. I can't make you stop worrying. But if you can't think of a single other thing to do, it's okay. It's okay. You're doing your best on this. And you're manifesting, by the way, that in your future, this book, which we're talking about the future now, this book has already been written. And it is a success. And you just love the way this book turned out. And it just went together so smoothly. And here's the other thing. Remember, you're so grateful. There is nothing else you can do today. You're going to your future. The book has already happened in your future. And you're filled with it. And the feedback is wonderful. And in your present time, you have your list. You're checking off all the stuff you can do. Again, you can't get it all done in a day. Take the rest of the day off. Come back to whatever else you do. There's nothing else you can do except read the book, write the book, polish it up. Now, when I was putting this book together, I talked about this almost every day for 2 years. And when I finally stopped saying, in response to people, you should write a book. Okay, this is great stuff. I've never heard anything like this. I've wrote a lot of manifesting books, but no one ever talked about how this works. You need to write this book. And I would say, yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm fixing to. I'm thinking about it. I wrote an outline on a plane, like four lines. One day I sat down, I got the earphones and plugged it into my computer, turned on the dictation, not even high-end dictation, and I started just dictating what I've been saying for 2 years. The book wrote itself. Now, I'm not that writer. My punctuation is not first class. And I put it out there that in my future, this book is success. It makes a way. It touches thousands and thousands.
Good rising, good rising.
And which it does. And I also put in there that it was expertly put together. And I talked to an artist friend of mine. We were doing a show together. I'm a full-time artist. Turns out her husband is semi-retired in the publishing business. She says, oh, you need to call this guy. He knows everything you need to know. It was a one-call shop. Called this guy and said, okay, here's your editor. Here's somebody to do a cover. And I'll help with the distribution, and I'll give you all the tips you need because this is what I do. I'm the president of the Colorado Independent Writers Association. And I know all the traps and all the pitfalls, and I will help you with this because I wish you to succeed. I love the concept of the book. I hung up the phone and I went, what? I mean, could it get any easier than that? And these weren't expensive things, and I had the money to do it. And if I didn't have the money, it came in enough to make this project go forward. It was a gift. But, I manifested it. Yes, I prayed about it too. You better believe it. I was all over this thing. But, I've been to the other side a number of times. I've never had a tour of the prayer department. I know it exists. I've had plenty of prayers that come through. And I've also...
China, we're on the same page.
In this world, from working with people who are gifted enough, that when I have thoughts, they take form, and they take form immediately. And I've done this real time on the phone, which should be in the distance of 2,000 miles. And by thinking of a very complicated object, I made it appear in her chair in real time. So, it tests this thing out every way on Sunday. But when somebody finally said, you need to watch The Secret, it's a metaphysical thing about manifesting with the law of experts in the field. Up to that point, I was just playing post office with Judy and talking to William Gilman about it. And these people are saying, well, you can manifest things and improve your life. movie was over, I went, oh my God, I know exactly what they're doing, but they don't know how thought takes form. And then I started turning it into myself. I started telling other people about it. I was with Johnny Appleseed about this, and finally wrote the book. And it's wrapped the world many, many times, just as I put in my manifesting movie.
I love The Secret. So really quickly, Ken, because I get it, I do, but at the same time, I don't. So I'm going to put myself in the shoes of the listeners that are like, I pray all the time. Sometimes my prayers come true. Sometimes they do not. Sometimes I am thinking of my cousin, and all of a sudden my cousin will call me, or I'm thinking of XYZ, and all of a sudden XYZ will appear, or, something along, oh, you're going to live a long time. I was just thinking about you. What happens, for instance, let's say I'm bipolar. Maybe not clinically, but in my feelings, I'm bipolar. I'm going to win this. Tomorrow's show's going to be great. Tomorrow's show's going to be amazing. Ken's going to tell everybody about manifesting. Damn, what if no one believes him? What if, people think I'm crazy? What if, no one, pays attention? No one listens? No. Tomorrow's going to be great. Tomorrow's going to be amazing. What happens when you have those bipolar thoughts, and now this beautiful movie that you've created of all of the possibilities and positivity is going to come through, and then you shut it all down with all your doubt and your fear, and then you regenerate it with love and excitement, and then you shut it down with thought and fear. That roller coaster of feelings and that roller coaster of emotions, how does the universe, God, whatever you name it, whatever you call it, how does then your bipolar thoughts and feelings are manifested?
Yeah, he loves me not. He loves me not. Yeah. Well, all right, these are all thoughts. Mm-hmm. We're not talking prayers. These are thoughts. If you're doing a prayer, they do what they do. You are heard. I'll say it again. I haven't had a tour of the prayer department, but we know whoever's in charge there, and that's God at the top, and maybe the angels help out, and many others. They're really smart. They got it the first time. I would offer it's perfectly allowed for us to pray over and over and over and over and over, because we're trying to make something happen. Remember, we have been endowed with life. We can make life. And we have been endowed with tools to make anything. And that's what we're talking about today. So yes, put that prayer up there, that earnest prayer. Thank you, God. Don't forget me. I need your help on this. And now, don't forget, he's already put something in your pocket. You can create a solution. Now, there is the solution. We'll call it money. It's a great example. There's money and there's equivalent money. You're in a jam, you need some money to pay the rent, and it's not there, and something comes up, and maybe you get a break, you get a reduction in the rent. Maybe a check comes in the mail, some refund from somewhere. There's a lot of those stories. A few $100. Did you work for that? Did you punch in and punch out for that? No, it's like free money. Or it's a refund that you deserve, but it was the equivalent of that thing that you go to work and punch in and punch out for. It's like a paycheck that you didn't earn at the office. So with this dichotomy that's going back and forth, imagine you are manifesting your perfect career. A couple ways to do that very quickly. I do this a lot. I'm in my future and I'm sitting on my couch. It's the end of the day. And I am imagining that I'm in my future. I can rub that couch. I can touch it. I'm breathing the air of my future. And I make this observation. I love my career. Oh, my God. I am respected. I'm fulfilled. This is a wonderful career. I just love it. I feel like I'm doing what I'm here to do. I'm rewarded. It's just perfect. I didn't talk about the commute. I didn't have to see what the office looks like, because I might be working from home in the future. I didn't specify all these things because thoughts are so literal that if you say you're on the 12th floor downtown and and it implies a 45-minute commute, then your thoughts will make that. Let's not do that. Let's this manifest the perfect career, which by default would mean, well, it's pretty good if you even have one. And you don't even know what the job is, what the career is, but you love it. That's what counts. And you're so grateful. So on one track, you're manifesting this perfect career. And on a completely separate track, they're not entwined, they're a completely separate thing, you're saying, I'm not worthy. They're going to find out about me. They're going to fire me. I'm not up to the job. Now, two separate thoughts are being formed, and you can get two separate results. You can get the job, and 6 weeks, 6 months later, you get fired. You are a world-class manifester. Everybody is. We're all doing this. 3-year-olds, 12-year-olds, we're all manifesting. And so you got the job, and then you created a scenario where you lost the job. And you made that happen. Now, you can also say that you can intertwine this. It's hard to tell if two separate or intertwined. Just as you said, yeah, manifesting that perfect job. You're in your future, and you're walking around, and there's this little thing going on in there, and you may actually say it, I don't deserve this. I can't possibly make this kind of money. No one has ever appreciated my talent. It's going to be the same old thing. And you can intertwine and trip up and make a mess of that clear, beautiful thought, and it never comes into full form. It just sits there as a tangled up little puff of smoke on the other side. So we need clarity, and it's pretend. It really is pretend. It's as simple as a 12-year-old going to the movie and going, oh, wow, and having your own perfect Batman movie or something. And you repeat the thought, and you add gratitude to it, and it will build efficiently. And sometimes these things happen in minutes, the same day. Sometimes they take months. I've had things on my list. They're very important to me. It's been a couple of years plus, or just under a couple of years. But in that time, I have seen what I call a bleed over. I have met people, or I have learned, or I have observed things that are very important to precisely that thing I'm manifesting. And I have improved as a person. I've had more knowledge. And when that comes, I'm in a much better position to accept it in full. But even 2 years ago, a year ago, I was not quite polished up enough or in a place where I could have or possess that large gift. So I've learned on the job, and that's good. I see the progress, and I'm very patient about this, even though it took a long time. I wouldn't want to manifest the perfect partner and lower the bar for them and for me, and you get something that is second class, like the book. You want to be that great partner for the one you seek. You want to be that wonderful employee for the fabulous career or job that you seek. So sometimes these take a little time, and sometimes it's because of me, because of us. We need a little more on-the-job training, and when we're ready, we get it. You know, if you're 14 years old and you want that red Maserati, it probably ain't going to happen.
Red Maserati.
But the equivalent of Maserati can happen in a number of ways. Your dad gives you a poster. You get a model. Somebody down the street, are you kidding me, has a Maserati, and you get to ride in it? That's the equivalent of the Maserati, and you don't even have a driver's license. So that's how these things work out. But they are forming, and you can see those leadovers from time to time.
So sometimes when our friends have, bestowed upon them things that we've been thinking and praying about, we've been manifesting for our friends and family.
Yeah. I love your voice. I can just talk to you all day.
Well, I'm glad I could talk to you as well, especially about manifesting. We are on the line with Ken Elliott, manifesting 1, 2, 3, and you don't need 3. Give us a call if you have any questions, 617-282-0062. We are currently Facebook Live, we're YouTube Live, we're also recording for iTunes right now. Bud Bowden said, I don't know who else believes in what this man is saying, but I got jobs and other opportunities. God opened up for me. I prayed I prayed for those with dyslexia. I had another artist that I worked with years ago. He could flow but couldn't read, and I never noticed until it hit me one day. So while we were discussing things on air, Facebook was having their own conversation about my transparency about the book and being, having that fear and having that doubt about not being the best writer and, creating a second-class book with my first-class ideas. And people were like, listen, you're not the only one with punctuation, dyslexia. And so that's where Bud came out and said he prays for people with dyslexia. That's something that can never be healed or solved, but it is something that we can manage. So with all that being said, I'm going to start manifesting my management of my dyslexia and my ability to just go ahead and write the book. And I'll find an editor when the time is right, and just believing in self. Is there, Ken, for you, is there a fine line, or is there a difference between thoughts and prayer and incantations and what people would say hoodoo, voodoo spells? Like, for you, is there a difference between this, or are they lumped up together? Are they the same thing by a different name?
Well, no, I don't think they're the same thing. And let's put some clarity on this. A prayer is a prayer is a prayer. Number one. Now, a thought is a thought is a thought. Now, when you're praying, there's a new word. Don't put that in your book. That's not a good word.
I'll make sure I send it to you for editing. You'll completely skip over it.
Busted the show. There's another word you're not supposed to put in the book. All right, so when you're saying a prayer, that's a thought. But a prayer goes, let's just simplify. The prayer goes to the prayer department. We don't know if God's handling the front desk, or what an angel is, a blue one or a red one, or a name one, an Ariel or a Michael, or whatever. But a prayer is a prayer is a prayer. Now, there is a thought to that. It's not a separate item. But they go to the prayer department, they go to work on it. They do what they do. And then you also have this thought. Now, if you keep praying about something, you're repeating that thought. You're working on two levels. But let's be clear, a prayer is a prayer, a thought is a thought. Mm-hmm. Now, on the thought side of this, number two, the thought portion of this, when you repeat anything, a thought, it will take form. Now, you're up there praying about it, that's fine. Stay on that. All you want. But since you have the gift to create anything, let's do something with that gift. If God's allowed you to act like a genie, then be the genie too. Tell him good morning, here's what I need, I'm looking for you to help me with this. And now, it's like your daddy would come in and say, how you doing? What do you need today? Okay, I'll go to work on that. I know some people about that. All right, got to go to the office, I'll see you later. And by the way, don't forget, I've allowed you to make anything you want, remember? Okay, so off it goes. Now it's up to you. You also have the ability to create whatever you want. People talk about the universe. Well, I'm waiting for the universe to bring this to me. I'm going to leave this up to the universe. The universe is going to show me the way. Well, those things do happen. Substitute universe for God. That's what I hear a lot. Well, God, the universe, has empowered you to make whatever you want. Now, he's off of the office. You get to put together what you need, what you desire. So you just heard how to do it. And there's a lot of manifesting books out there, some very practical. They don't sound woo-woo. And what I'm putting out there is not woo-woo, because I have proved it out every way but Sunday for years with different people. And every time I think of something, if these people are gifted enough, and I know 3 of them, and one goes the other side on his own, the 3 in this world can see the things that I send them take form. That's good enough for me. And I remember what William said, the guy that goes the other side to see this. He said, I can put it on my wish list, and it's there for a short period of time. And when I go to the other side, on occasion, I'll go to this place, and everything on my wish list is taking form. If it's a brand new idea or an old one, and I don't know if I use this word in the book, He said, I would be an idiot not to do this. Well, I don't want to be an idiot, and I'm not going to call you one. But if God gave us this gift, let's use it. Yes, pray to Him. He's on it. But don't defer to God to just take care of stuff. You can do this yourself. You know, if your dad comes in and you say, oh, would you move this chair for me? He might just say, why don't you just move it yourself? You've got arms and legs. I got to go. Take responsibility. This is not hard. This is really simple. It's your great gift. Test it out. Don't listen to me go on and on. Test it out. Get the book. Go to my website, manifesting123.com. There's a lot of radio interviews. I go into this in different kinds of details from different ways. And there's over 200 stories from readers on that website. And instead of watching some rerun, get on there and pop around and you can keyword search those stories. And some are small and some are fantastic. But in the end, people made something. And yes, they pray about things. And I love getting stories. If somebody sends me a prayer story, I'll put it in the newsletter and I'll send you a book. Somebody sends me a manifesting story from wherever, I'll put it in the newsletter and send you a book. Not everybody gets things from the Manifesting 1, 2, 3, and you don't need number 3. I'm about getting people to pray, to ask, to think and ask and repeat, because they're going to get results. It's a natural law. If you put that coffee cup out on the table and let it go, it's going to crash to the ground. If you have a thought and you repeat it, it will start to build. So once you know that, now we have a responsibility to ourselves to manage and be careful with those repetitive, worrisome thoughts.
Repetitive, worrisome thoughts. What have you been thinking? What are you creating? What are you manifesting in your life? Really quickly, I know it's Motivational Monday. Yesterday was Sunday, but I want to give you something to think about. For me, I don't know about Ken, but for me personally, you know, thoughts, feelings, and what you prey on or what you continuously are repeating, you know, these things are very, for me, it's close to science. Like religion and science, I wish we had spaces where we were able to merge them together and give people a broader understanding of how, you know, religion and science are one and the same. And thinking about what Ken's been saying this entire power hour, talking about manifesting and using your thoughts to create the life you want, it reminds me of Matthew 7, ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be opened for you. John 14:12, verily I truly tell you, whoever believes in me will do the works I have been doing. They will do greater things than these because I am going through the Father. Like, did Jesus not come to tell us all of the things and all of the creative things that and creative possibilities that we had? Matthew 17:20, because you have so little faith, I truly tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to a mountain, move from here onto there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. So while we're over here questioning the things that we can do and can't do, and questioning the things that we want to do, the truth of the matter is, religiously, it was told unto us that we can do these things and greater. And scientifically, if you start thinking like Ken, I don't know if you listen to the show, but we talk about how they have been able to measure thought. They've been able to sit here and every thought you think, be able to give it a measurement. Scientifically. So scientifically, if your thoughts have measurements or are creative within your mental space in the world, what kind of energy are you putting out in your thoughts that are measured scientifically, that religiously are creative? What are you creating in your world that you don't want? What are you thinking about that you don't need in your life, but is a constant, like Ken said, a worry?
I love those phrases and I hold them dear. I think of them often. And what they're saying in those phrases And Jesus himself said, you can do more than I can do. What they're talking about is unlimitedness. There's no limits on what they said. And what I'm putting out, and I'm not a biblical person, I'm talking about unlimited things. I don't think it's God's will that the iPhone 8 is coming out in mid-September. You know, it's a lot. I don't think it's his will to punish the entire country with war. I don't think that's his will. Speculation on my part, but it seems rather, plain as the nose on your face. And we have been given the tools to create anything. But, think about the trillions of things that have been invented in this world since we had consciousness. Trillions of things. They were all a puff of smoke first. And they're invented by regular people. If God didn't invent it, if it didn't grow naturally, if it wasn't an accident, then it was an invention of mankind. And you can do this. You're already doing it. And if there are things in your life which you do not want in your life anymore, then you can create a future scenario where that does not exist. And people have had amazing results on this. And everybody is already doing this. It's just when you know how something works, it'll make a big difference. If people have the superstitious thing about light switches, and they don't know that it's hooked up to the power plant, they would do all sorts of ceremonies to explain or sticky notes on it and have rituals to increase the chances that light switch would work. Everybody knows it's hooked up to the power plant. If it doesn't work, there's something wrong with the wire. There's something wrong with the light bulb. You are hardwired into this gift where you can create anything. So just go for it. Just go for it. Test it out. Test it out.
I think I love the way you said that. If you didn't know that the light switch was connected to the power plant, you'd be over here praying like, oh, thank you for the light. Thank you for the lighting candles and everything else. And it made me wonder, when you said that, it made me wonder, how many things are we over here praising and praising and praising because we don't understand the source?
We would be doing light switch voodoo. You would. So what I'm offering to you, this is not woo-woo. This is the physics. And we're sniffing around this stuff with the quantum field, this and that. But I have proved this out. I'm not the only one. And we would have time to go to all the very complicated things I did to prove this out. There's enough for me to write the book and just say, please try this. You don't even have to buy my book. You have what you need right now. Or you can go to my website. The information is there. I'm not...
What's the website, Ken? Give us the website.
All right. www.manifesting123.com. And you can get the hardback book. You can download the book. I have narrated the book. I've just read the book. You can get the audio file of that. You can get an MP3 stick you can put in your computer. So every way but Sunday you can get this book. And please, if the book or no book, go to the future, imagine that scenario, be grateful for every scenario. Don't specify how you got from here to there, and your future's already happened. Number 2, take action on those concerns. Make that list, run the list. And the number 3, you don't need number 3. We're very powerful. We're very big. We're very, very powerful spiritual beings. You don't need to consider that. You don't have to fast. You don't even have to believe. You're already doing it. It's just part of our wiring. So you don't have to be this perfect person, this wonderful, deserving saint to make this happen. If you're in jail, it will work for you. If you should be in jail, it'll work for you. If you're a wonderful person, it will work for you. If you're an average person, it'll work for you. We are endowed with life. When you get up in the morning, the first thing you do is take a breath. We don't just get scared every morning and go, oh my God, where is the air? Please, where's the air, God? I need air. It's your gift. You have air. And you have the ability to create anything, and people have been doing it for centuries. So step right up. It's your turn.
One more time, Ken, give us the website. And Ken is also an artist as well, so you might be able to find some of his paintings online as well. But give us the website, give us your Twitter handle so we can find you.
Okay. Well, it's all there. The best place is just go to the website, manifesting123.com. And if you're interested in my artwork, and I'm not here trying to sell that, it's Ken Elliott, ELLIOTT.com. So manifesting123.com. And do these simple things. You're going to get a result, and I hope you will send me an email, give me that story, we'll chat, and I'll send you a signed book. I can't wait to hear what you do next.
Thank you, Ken. We thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. We hope you have an amazing day. Big City 101.3 FM. Waking Up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. What are you going to think about today? What mental movie are you going to focus on? He said, don't focus on how you got there. Just focus on the end result. And what end result are you thinking about? What end result are you focused on? Your thoughts are your thoughts. Your prayers are your prayers. But what is it that you are thinking and praying on? I love you guys. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you have an awesome week. I am putting out positive thoughts that you guys have an amazing week, that the sun comes out, that we get summer again, because it turned to summer and then to winter in the same day. So I'm hoping we can get some spring or some summer somewhere over here. Really quickly, do not forget, it sounds like it's so far from now, but it's really not. June 25th. What is separating your small business from companies that have lasted for multiple generations? Beauty Supply Institute and the Urban Business Institute will help you find your way on June 25th at the Boston Business Builder. To date, Professor Devin and the Beauty Supply Institute has opened over 80 Black-owned beauty supply stores that have generated over $13 million in revenue for urban communities. He continues to serve as the CEO and Program Director of the Beauty Supply Institute as well as the Urban Business Institute. June 25th, Professor Devin is going to arrive here in Boston, Massachusetts to talk to us about how to sustain businesses in our community, how to grow businesses in our community. $13 million. Let's figure out how our businesses can sustain this $13 million. You're thinking about owning your own business. You're focused on owning your own business. Today's conversation made you want to open your own business. But do you know what steps you need to take in order to make your business successful? If you don't, come out on June 25th, 2017 at the Bruce Boiling Building from 12 p.m. until 6 p.m. We will be there on the second floor. We have some amazing vendors. If you would like to be a vendor, please contact me, or you can go to the Facebook Boston Business Builder, hashtag Boston Business Builder, because we are building businesses in Boston and we need you. You need the business. The Boston needs you to build businesses. Let's work together. What can we do to help one another? I hope you guys have an amazing day. Shout out to Faith Naturals. I finally saw her yesterday. It took me a whole week to get back to Faith, but I love her. I love everything in there. She has the super duper 24-ounce shampoo now. So I don't have to go back once a week for some shampoo because she has the 24-ounce. Aside from that, Oreos, Pum Pum Wash, Yoni Steam. She has singing bowls. She has a whole lot of products that I didn't even know existed. Don't forget the waist beads, the bracelets, your crystals, stones. She has everything that you need, and if she doesn't have it, you ask her, and I guarantee she will help manifest it. 1, 2, 3, 3 not needed. Thank you, Ken Elliott. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I am TaylaAndre, Big City 101.3 FM.
You know what it is? It's DJ.
Hi, Neil. You want to go in the other room and get those questions? Y'all say hi to Il Neil. I would say the best DJ in the city, but he has a team. So shout out to all the Jerkisons.